and Erin morning stream. Wow, is that your brain on drugs, and then that's your brain that's not
funny.
on drugs? And then
Look at you.
Your brain that's,
you should go home right now because that was way funny.
It's actually your brain on the morning stream, which is basically not even scrambled. It's more like just sort of like an explosion and a puddle of like.
You're diluting the joke now, but it was initially awesome.
Really? Now you're like mocking like the quality of my humor.
You made fun of me this morning a little bit.
How did I make fun of you this morning?
The fact that I can perch things on my stomach now.
That was last night that I made fun of you for that.
It still stings.
It's still carrying over.
It still stings.
Whatever.
All right, so what do we want to talk about? We're going to talk about the Golden Globes a little bit coming up.
Oh, this was pretty cool.
Did we do the mountain cam already?
I don't think we've done the morning mountain cam.
Morning mountain cam.
Was the egg cam counting as the...
Yes.
Here we go. Brio Technologies, of course, they're your experts in lighting, sound, and video. You can go to brioaudiovisual.com. They will take your business to the next level. That's a different kind of angle. A little bit.
Angle?
Angle.
Oh, okay.
With the trees and the front and stuff.
I became very popular with my friends and my wife over the weekend.
Yes,
and,
you did, honey.
Erin,
Are we going to talk about the Golden Globes first?
Do you want to do that?
Maybe the eggs were an offhand tribute to the Golden Globes.
No.
Okay.
That's Richard eating breakfast.
I'm trying to tie it in somewhere.
The only guy I know can eat eggs while producing the show.
Best animated film was Coco. Happy about that. Director went to Guillermo del Toro.
Tell me the Coco thing again. Who?
Coco, that was animated film.
Yes.
We've seen Coco.
Director or what?
That was for Best Animated Film. Best Director was Guillermo del Toro for Shape of Water, the film that you and I still have yet to see.
Basically, the Golden Globes are a guide to things we haven't seen.
The reason why I've always liked them, though, this is the one award show where you can drink.
Yeah.
And so the acceptance speeches are so much more fun than usual.
Yeah, and they tend to go off. And speaking of that,
Oprah Winfrey was like the big thing here. She stood up, and everyone was wearing black to protest. I'm still not clear on why wearing black would protest sexual harassment.
She was too, but instead of the big gowns on the carpet, everyone had this really strong. It wasn't who you wearing; it's who you supported.
Yeah, more
which
severe
was awesome.
The only question I have about wearing black is everybody always wears black. They're like, and the men were feminists too, and they also wore black.
The men always wear black.
They always wear black. I'm wearing black today.
But it stood out for the women. It really stood out.
But she did a really, as you can always imagine, she did a spectacular speech because, she's Oprah. And she said, and she's amazing. But she talked a lot about it, saying that sexual harassers, your time has come. And that this year we became the story, but it's not just a story affecting the entertainment industry. It's one that transcends any culture or workplace, and that sexual misconduct affects both men and women, and in industries that stretch across. She talked about telling the story of Reese Taylor, who was attacked by a group of white men in Alabama in 1944, and she said Reese Taylor died 10 days ago. She lived too many years in a culture broken by brutally powerful men. Oh, I hate this when I get all emotional this early. And women were not believed. And she said, for men, your time is up. So it was just, because it's Oprah, and so you know
when she said that, the place went crazy, standing and everything.
It's Oprah, so you know that it's like she just drove everyone.
It ends
to
now.
It was an incredible.
What I remember her saying.
Yeah, it was a beautiful speech, and she, of course, just sent everybody over the edge.
I don't think I'm trying to remember if a whole show has been kind of focused on one thing.
Seth Meyers poked a lot of fun at it. He was the
who did?
Seth Meyers.
Oh yeah, Seth. Yeah.
MC, and he did a great job. But yeah, I mean, it was just an interesting mix of like really emotional and intense, and also like, hey, guess what? James Franco won something. So it was like a little of everything.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there you go. It was. I guess the awards weren't a biggest shock because, to be honest, 90% of us haven't seen Lady Bird and didn't even know what it's about, other than it's obviously probably about Lady Bird.
So I have a question. I have a question on that. So The Shape of Water, we're going to go see that. We haven't seen it. No spoilers. Stay off Facebook. And the question I have is, the movie didn't do extremely well.
It will do better after it wins the Academy Awards.
Well,
a lot. I mean, they always anything that gets an Oscar.
What do you mean?
Boost.
They won the you say it's going to win?
The director won. Oh, of course it's going to win. Are you kidding? It's freaking epic. How could it not win?
But how Star Wars?
Look, there's Richard. He looks like the Unabomber.
Why? What's up with the hood?
And he's got the hood up. He doesn't want to be associated with this thing. Can you blame him, really?
Snorts.
Of course he can.
Hey, you work on the Todd and Erin? No.
Don't know who they are.
I'm on prison release. So the question. Let's run through this. The Shape of Water.
For all you have to work.
The Shape
Todd
of
and Erin. That's your punishment.
Could happen.
I'm so sorry, Richard.
And my train of thought is The Shape of Water.
Yes.
Director wins, Golden Globe.
Guillermo del Toro.
And then the movie does
Well, it just started though, and it was a limited release.
Then you said the Academy Award. And what? Because I know the Golden Globe is kind of a teller of things to come.
Yeah, but The Shape of Water was already nominated for the Directors Guild and for the SAG one, which I can't remember right now. And the one who wins the SAG nomination has always won has won the Academy Award in the last, I think, 30 years. So it's kind of a given.
All right.
So anyway, I would tell you more about the Golden Globes and who won last night, but 99% of them, we haven't seen any of them. So it's kind of a bummer. Although Best TV Series, Handmaid's Tale, so that was pretty cool.
All right. Over the weekend, may I?
Yes, please.
Erin made a request, and when I shop, I do
Best husband in the world.
Food shopping and stuff. And, it's one of those things where you're walking along with your cart, and all of a sudden you see something, and it's like, rib roast. And I was like, please don't be a New York rib roast, because the ribeyes, right?
You dissed the New York
on sale
roast.
for
$4.99, right?
$4.99.
And look how beautiful that is. Look at Zoe's face in the background going, oh my God, it's rib roast.
We're going to eat a cow. So anyway, I grabbed some and I put them in the freezer. And so for this weekend, we had friends coming over. So I thought, I'd pull it out. You want to see what it looks like when you cook it? Do it.
Best husband.
Hi, everybody. It's Todd. And tonight we're going to make ribeye roast. Why do I make ribeye roast? Because it's the way I can buy people's love. That's how. Let's take a look at the chunk of meat. This is the ribeye roast. I got this on sale for $4.99 a pound. And as you can see, I have cut the bones off and strung them back on. And the reason is when you cut this, if you didn't do this, each piece would be this wide. This way you can feed more people. All right, so first of all, let's get it in the pan. You can season the entire roast with whatever you want. I've been using the Montreal for quite a while. They also have a lot of different steak seasonings and things like at Winco and stuff. It's your preference. You go ahead and do it. It's in the pan, bone side down, fat side up.
Oh man, this is my husband being sexy. I love you so much right now.
All right, here it is roasting away. And you can use another cut of meat. You can use like a New York roast. And if there was a New York roast here, I would say they're really good because I didn't want to hurt its feelings. But there's not one here, and compared to the ribeye roast, they're dirt. But if I don't tell anybody about it, okay? Because I don't want to hurt their feelings. Oh, shh, come here. Don't tell Erin I'm watching porn. And now one of the most important things is now we just let the roast rest.
No! No! We're hungry! Cut it open! I want to survive! I need food! It wants to die. It should have taken a nap earlier.
1, 2, 3, go. Ready? Oh, who loves Todd?
We love you! I love you, baby!
Woo, yeah! This is what we call the meat coma. The meat coma where no one wants dessert because everyone is done. You know what I call this? I call this a good job. That's what I call it. Oh, yeah. 3 people under the table. Out. Cold.
It was really
It's
good.
so easy.
I had no idea.
Because you think of rib roast, and there's an investment because you're looking at 10 pounds at $4 or $5 a pound. But you're looking at pretty good investment, so you want it to come out.
You don't want to
seriously, it's you put it in the oven, you time it, and that's it. And then people go, oh my gosh, you've been slaving all day.
It really was perfection.
And you take some flour and do this, and you go, I know. Then they do the dishes.
Happily.
Wait a minute, I did the dishes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Jerks.
Sorry, honey.
Those
All
are
right, well, so
jerks.
that's funny, though, because it brings us to the diets that we picked for the New Year's, because we're both
I
trying to get rid of
know.
our winter pelts.
I know.
I picked Atkins because it's easy peasy. It's like high protein. So I did fine
I picked the other
with
one.
our prime rib meal, and you did Mediterranean, which is like fish and
Right.
stuff. So how have you been doing so far?
Good. Eggnog was good last night, just before I went to bed, which is kind of a health tip for you. If you're looking at changing your lifestyle, that's a good way, because you'll be ending it. Because when you drink eggnog, you can actually hear your heart slow down. It's that good.
Easier to track.
It's true. You can't run. So, no, I really haven't. But you had a cheat day.
Oh, that's because I lost it. Why did I lose it? I can't remember
I can't
now.
remember.
Yeah, but I found out that you'd actually hid more of the peppermint kisses.
Well, that's because you looked at me like you were going to hurt me. You were gonna,
No, you said, oh, I think I threw some away yesterday. And I went,
I did.
Didn't you have an extra bag here somewhere? And he'd
said-
hidden them in one of the Dutch ovens down in our storage room because our son Zach, who's not allowed sugar,
Good place.
is like the dark master. It's like he can snip it down like a bloodhound.
So the question being, yeah, you were like, I saw it, and I saw the half-eaten bag, and I thought, it's the peppermint ones, the white chocolate. And I said...
And now they're gone from the stores, and the only way you can get them is if you were smart enough to hide some beforehand. Thank
so
God for my husband.
Erin was determined. She says, boom, diet. When Erin says diet, she's like, diet. Except then she had that look where she, like, grabs
It
your
was
lapels
one
like this,
day.
and she goes, hey, honey, where's the candy?
And no, and then he's dumb enough to go, well, didn't you say you were on a diet? Okay, my sisters... Has a sentence like that ever worked for your husband in the past? Well, yeah, honey, I'm just trying to help you.
I didn't say it in a
You said you were on
stupid
diet.
accent. Oh, hey, you know what? I didn't say it like that.
You said it, so it
I
was
said,
dumb.
are you sure? Right.
So you questioned my reality.
Yes, I guess
You
you.
questioned my sanity.
I guess you don't understand it. I never want to have sex again.
Apparently not. No, he actually found me the kisses, so everything's okay.
And now she's back on track. She's told me.
Yeah, I am. Okay, this weird cold snap in the South. Now,
oh.
the Northeast, let's be honest, the New Englanders, you guys are used to it. I mean, you were all like born in frost.
Just
and it's
another
nothing-
day.
It's like the permafrost has never melted
Well, I
throughout
gotta-
any part of the Northeast. But
If you've
the
never been,
South,
if you've never been in an ice storm, it's horrific. And when it's the glistening things are really pretty.
no.
Here is a twig, right? And here is the ice on it. It breaks everything. Your power goes out. And we're going to talk about that later coming up.
But the South, I felt so bad for them because, like I said, you and I both lived there. You were in D.C. and I lived in Virginia.
Miami.
It's like they're not used to this, and so when you get even further down, like when you get to Miami, it's like you've got to be kidding me. And they had like
43
sea turtles and
Wait,
buckets.
I'm going to tell that part.
Okay, sorry.
43 degrees. And so people are out there with their jacket, and all of a sudden they hear the thump. What the hell was that? They look over, and there's an iguana. Feet up, like this. Not to be confused with my tick impression, the iguana impression. Okay, and so they walk over to it and they go, "Oh, it's like stiff," and they're like, "Oh, we've killed it." So one guy, he goes around and he collects all these iguanas around his neighborhood,
Poor little frozen iguanas with
and
their
he
little helpless
puts
claws.
them in a trash can. Because he didn't want them to sit there and the dog might get, you know what. And so he puts them all in. And
Did
then
you stick him in what is it, living
trash.
room? I mean,
No, trash can. He put them in the trash can, not in the house trash can, in the going to the sidewalk dumpster.
that many iguanas, huh?
And so he
So
filled
did
it
he
up.
warm them up? What did he do?
He was throwing them away. He thought they were dead. And so you're just not. Stay with me, hon. Stay with me. So he was going to throw them out. He walked in, watched the news, and then what he saw was a reptile specialist, and he's saying, he goes,
Oh, okay.
these iguanas are not dead. They've gone into a cold state because they're cold-blooded, where they shut down everything. They're still breathing a little bit. They're still breathing a little bit, and they're just waiting for them. And he was like, "Oh my gosh!"
I just stuck them all in the trash can.
And he walked over and he threw the lid open. He looked in, and there was like 20 iguanas going, "Ha, ha." Once again, the iguana impression, ha, not to be confused with the tick impression. So they were okay once they warmed up. And so he tipped it over slightly and let them all run, and now his house is going to be overrun. The sea turtles are another thing.
Oh, that's
North
so
Carolina,
sad, I
South
know,
Carolina,
right?
Florida. That people are motorboating around, and there's like a floating turtle not moving.
I'm really freaking cold.
And
Poor
so,
little things. I know.
okay, so they're calling the harbor master, they're calling people. And so they picked a couple of them up and they put them in their boat, not knowing what they should do. And the person, they finally got a hold of some group of people who love sea turtles, and they said, bring them to us. And so they brought them, and then all you see is these long hallways with kiddie pools in them.
So sad. I know.
No water, just kiddie pools, and each one has a turtle, sea turtle, this big, and they mark it when it came in, right on the shell, with a grease pencil, and they just keep an eye on them. You don't feed them, they don't give them water, they're just trying to get their body temperatures up, and then when it's over, they'll go out and put them back in where they got them.
Poor
They
little
mark where they
babies.
got them.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know. Trash can full of iguanas, though. That must have scared the hell out of
I'm
you.
sorry, but I would have given money. I would have given everything I owned to be the person to flip open that lid and have 20 iguanas going, really?
And you imagine the scratching noise in the plastic?
Just
Once
infuriated.
again, iguana impression scratching.
Do the tick. You got it.
That's a tick. That's an iguana. My friend had a 6-foot long one with his tail, and you come in the door and they would hear you and they would run to you, and he had wooden floors and that
Yeah.
frightening story.
All right, can you believe it? Someone in Florida won the $450 million Mega Millions jackpot.
Not me, I don't care.
Somebody, not us, sadly, which made me kind of sad, but
I don't care.
somebody
Still don't care.
Somebody got it.
Yeah.
Fourth biggest Mega Millions jackpot in history. And this is going to really genuinely shock you, but they haven't come forward to have their picture taken going, look, I'm the one who has $450 million.
Wow.
Why don't you come and try to kill me for my money?
Because we've gone through the rules.
I mean, everybody who's smart about this, if you can possibly avoid it, it's like, don't take my picture, don't release my name, just give me the money. It's going to an advisor. I'm going to keep quiet about it for like 6 months.
The first thing you do is you sign the ticket. The second thing you do is you go to the bank and you put it, and take pictures of it, and then go to the bank and then put it in a secure location, in a box, in one of those thing boxes. What do they call them? The boxes.
Safe deposit box.
Safe deposit box. And then you just sit there and you're still peeing your pants because that'll be happening. And then you find an attorney who deals with finance, and that's when you start setting it up.
Sold at 7-Eleven in Port Richey, Florida.
Nice.
I'm so jealous.
What?
All right.
Newport Bitchy.
Newport Richey. What's wrong with you today? Potty mouth? All right, let's move on. Portland.
This is so.
You've been laughing about
Oregon.
this, and you called like our friends in Oregon who are like freaking out about
Yeah.
this.
Well,
This is
some of
like
the
the
co-
weirdest law ever, though. I don't get it.
Okay, here's the deal. And there's another place like this, and I can't remember where it is. They have to have a gas attendant when you pump gas, and this is.
Because we don't know how to do that ourselves.
I think it's to help employment.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's like for. Yeah.
It's you know what it's like. It's like in New York, you have to have a doorman in an apartment complex. You have to have the guy dressed up in the suit, opening the door. Hello, Mr. Collard. Get out. You don't live here. That kind of thing. And so I think they have to employ people, I guess. And anyway, they said, okay, you can pump your own gas. People on Twitter from Oregon went crazy. Some of the
What are we going to do?
Some of the statements was, there needs to be a trained professional dealing with flammable fluids, and other people didn't even know how to do it. And then there's anyway, the people.
That seems really
out.
random. I had no idea.
But here's the funny thing. There's exclusions. Okay, so everyone else has to have an attendant.
Okay.
But in a city with less than 40,000 people, from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., you can pump gas, your own gas. So it saves the small gas station owners the money from keeping a guy at $10 an hour through the night.
So it's basically really pointless in every possible way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal for nothing.
Yeah.
And yet they're still hysterical about it. Like, I don't know how. I'm
Some of the-
going to set myself on fire.
Most of the population is like, yeah, well, it's okay. That's
Zoe,
that's
my
the-
6-year-old, could pump gas. I mean, it's
Don't-
not like
don't
it's the
encourage-
hardest thing in the world,
Don't
guys.
encourage that, please.
You know, she'd do it if we'd let her.
So anyway, Yeah, so now people can, but the people freaking out were just, I don't even know where it goes in. And, and other people were making fun of them, saying they're going to fill their cars with diesel and stuff. Because they're going to look at the green handle and think it's ecologically better.
We'll do that. It's eco-wise.
Whatever. All right, information.
That should be fun. Let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Denali Performance Clinic. Would you like to get rid of that migraine for good? They are doing an online seminar to tell you how, and without opioids, which is really a wonderful thing. Also by Always Black Friday. Always Black Friday. It's a brand new store up in Ogden. 30 to 75% off every single day, where I got Todd's Christmas present. And, of course, All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where they have a winter special right now that will help you get your furnace back in shape. AllUtahPlumbing.com. Daisy, my dear, what is going on right now?
Good morning, everyone. Here's what's making news Monday, January 8th on GephartDaily.com. Box Elder County Sheriff's personnel have found an object in the Great Salt Lake they believe may be an airplane that went missing December 29th. Divers from Weber County plan to search the north arm of the Great Salt Lake after the object was spotted in about 14 feet of water Saturday. Foul weather and heavy fog forced recovery efforts to be postponed. Search teams will be back in the water Monday, weather permitting. The search is continuing for two teenagers who went missing after leaving Tooele to drive to Eureka on December 30th. 17-year-old Braylyn Otterson and 18-year-old Riley Powell left Tooele after visiting family and were planning to stop in Spanish Fork, then drive back to Eureka, where they live with family members. Family members reported the two missing to the Joab and Tooele County Sheriff's offices Tuesday, and search and rescue teams have been looking for them for the last 3 days. Powell is known to enjoy off-roading in the Jeep, and authorities believe the couple may have gone onto a dirt road and become stuck. Anyone with information is asked to call the Joab County Sheriff's Office or the Tooele County Sheriff's Office. And Salt Lake City's Nathan Chen will be joining the 2018 U.S. Olympic men's figure skating team after winning the U.S. Figure Skating Championships for the second time. The 2018 U.S. Olympic men's figure skating team is comprised of 3 individuals, all making their Olympic debuts. They include Chen, Adam Rippon, and Vincent Zhao. Time now for your Wasatch Front forecast, brought to you by our spectacular sponsors at Brio Technologies, Utah's premier audiovisual specialists. We're going to continue living in the winter half world again this week. We'll have high temps near 50 Monday before rain mixed with snow blows through the state Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs those days will hover in the 40s to mid-30s with lows in the 20s and 30s. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
All right, it's time for the Todd and Erin Morning Stream drone flying through the sky. Look out. I got to find Erin. Here she is. Wait, where is she? Look out. We're coming this way. Ignore the hand. All right, there. Erin, we're here with our drone.
Okay.
Notice our drone's kind of special because, well, the blades don't have to turn to fly. Tell me that.
I'm so sorry.
How would you like to get
All
a
Utah
furnace for free? Furnace for free. You can do that. $2,000 off your furnace. All Utah Plumbing. They'll actually give you a free air scrubber, so you get $3,200 in savings. So you know what that means? That means a free furnace. Give them a call. AllUtahPlumbing.com.
Okay, this is pretty cool. Tell me something good. This is brought to you by Always Black Friday. Our friends up in Ogden, 30 to 75% off every day.
Got it.
AlwaysBlackFriday.com. I love these guys. This is a wonderful story. I mean, Uber's like really changed the whole landscape of like the taxi service and how people like hire drivers to get from one place to another.
It also has shown us that the lobby for the cab drivers is basically
pretty much, yeah, you're all...
Because you think they would have fought harder, but I know they did at the beginning.
Or maybe change their systems so that it was more competitive with Uber. But in any case, you know that they've taken the world by storm, but so have drones, right? Well, here's the combination of both.
Is this
is
the
pretty
blending?
Cool. They're calling it Uber for Blood. It's a drone delivery service.
Ooh.
It's operating in remote areas like Rwanda, a lot of the third world countries where access to medical supplies and life-saving
okay.
equipment is next to impossible.
All right.
So what they're doing is they're delivering blood to patients who are in dire need, and they're stuck in areas that tend to be inaccessible or far away from the
So
hospitals.
sending it to a doctor. Okay.
But this is really cool. It's from a Silicon Valley company called Zipline, and they created the initiative. And they went, why can't we use drones to be delivering high intensity medical supplies
Insulin, yeah.
to tougher areas? So the drone is what they do is they have the linked hospitals, and now that they've come up with the system, they have the linked hospitals. They get a message from one of the physicians or one of the other people who's registered with the system. They had said, this is what we need, and then it's all the blood is loaded onto the drone. It's deployed, and it carries the blood at 60 miles an hour. It alerts the medical professionals when the drone is 1 minute away, and then it parachutes. The parachute drops the package before flying away.
Cool.
It's unbelievable. The initiative's delivered more than 5,500 units of blood since
Really?
its inception.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that the coolest thing ever?
And if you're going from point to point, right, that the computer definitely knows if there's mountains or hilltops or stuff. It could be just like go, push a button.
It's incredible because they've been talking about this, the fact that especially in third world countries where they wait days, if not weeks, for something that's life-saving.
Right.
And they've had people's hundreds of lives saved because they could get the blood within 30 minutes. And this is up in like a mountainous
crazy.
area where nobody could even get there by Jeep. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So it's drone delivery service for blood.
That's
Zipline.
pretty cool. And all we're worried about is getting a pizza.
Well, it's interesting to me, though, how fast Silicon Valley has changed the landscape of so many different things. We've talked about how it's been operating in Puerto Rico, and it's very funny. I was in the emergency room last night with my mom. Don't ask. Everything's fine. And our nurse was from Puerto Rico, and she was talking about that because her folks are still there. And I said,
Oh, look at it drop. Oh, my
Isn't that amazing?
gosh, that's cool.
And she's talked about how for instance, like the Tesla, how they've changed so much of the wiring and gotten so many of the lights back on in such a short amount of time, and it's amazing how many of
crazy.
these like uber smart companies have went, okay, we're not going to wait for whatever infrastructure is
nuts.
supposed to do this.
That's cool.
We'll come up with a better idea.
That's
So I don't know.
crazy
That's
cool.
so inspiring to me. I love that.
Elections that are close. We had the one in Alabama.
Yeah, Roy
Wasn't-
Moore is still not
actually
believing
wasn't
that one.
close, but they've had dead ties. That 94th district, and this is down in Virginia. The finished total is small. It was a small election.
Tiny.
11,608 to 1,168.
11,608 to
Yeah.
11,608.
Tie. Dead tie.
Dead tie.
So what do you do? Well, the United States, it's not uncommon for them to draw straws, which is
Really?
a little old school. Yeah.
Oh, funny.
They also flip a coin.
I met tails. I really wanted tails. I swear to God.
Take them to court. The strangest things, pulling your name out of a hat. That happened in Florida. They've had a coin toss, which is just ridiculous.
Heads or tails?
Heads or
Your
tails?
entire political career is contingent on a flip of a coin.
Here's another one. You take your name and you put it into a film canister, which when I was growing up, everybody knew they were for pot. But anyway, you put it in one of those little gray deals, and then you put it in a blue porcelain bowl, and then it is held up, and you reach in,
Wait.
and the person who pulls that, but that is determined of who pulls it by a flip of the coin. You see where we're going here?
This is getting unnecessarily complex.
They should just duel, and the one who survives it gets to be the dog catcher, right? They should just shoot at each other, and then it's like, congratulations, you're the account for the county. You're the accountant.
Wow, that seems
I
unnecessarily.
think they should. I
Aggressive?
have a message. I
Yes,
have a message.
you do.
And I've been watching the coverage back east. We just talked about iguanas falling out of the sky. And a lot of people, do you know, still don't have heat, still don't have electricity, I should say that.
Yeah.
Because you go,
Power's out.
oh, you do other things. But no, there are some people who are without, and they don't have any lights, and they don't have any heat, and they're trying to survive. And a lot of people said, well, we can't do anything. What are we going to eat? And I've come up with something, and this goes out to you on the East Coast. I need Daisy for this.
Why do we? Okay. Well, we always need Daisy.
We always need
That's
Daisy.
always a
Daisy,
given.
come on in.
Hi, sweetie.
Here, I'll get you a chair. You go and sit in mine.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, my
Hi.
cabbage.
Okay.
How was your weekend?
It was good, Erin. You look very beautiful today. You always look very pretty, but you look especially pretty today.
Apparently, 2 hours of sleep was very flattering for me. That's good to know.
Do you know, it's so funny. My mum always does that. The worst nights when I get up and I'm like, oh my God, I look like a fright. And
Isn't
I'll
that
see
funny?
my
I
mum,
know.
she'll be like, you look so like
Refreshed.
alive. And I'm like, Mum, no, my eyes are like this. But anyway, no, you look gorgeous.
Thank you. You made
You
my
always
whole day.
do, but-
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
That's an ominous little bag, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So, this is my advice, and I've done this before. A meal you don't have to cook. That sounds good. If you're freezing on the East Coast, you don't have power, your electric stove doesn't work, you have no heat, you need energy. So everybody gets one.
Oh, good God.
Yes, I know.
It's
Wait.
like college all over
Lucky
again.
you. Here you go. Chicken flavor. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to open it up.
Okay. This is really nice.
Now,
You were so. You can't even help being polite. You're
No,
so
I know,
British.
I know.
We're both going, oh my God, it's ramen. And you're still like, no, it's really
you know what they
nice."
call these, by the way?
Noodles.
Yeah, that's it. So all right, so what I
Little
want you to
worms?
do is an amateur would stop at this point.
Are we going to sniff it?
No, we're
I almost feel like you're like cutting
Oh,
a
yeah.
line of ramen there.
I just got it. I'm that slow on the uptake.
bunch of British.
Good though. It's funny.
All right, so an amateur, that's all over the floor.
Okay.
An amateur would just do the taste test now, but professionals, this is my tip. You want to open your seasoning pack just a little
The
bit.
soup base.
Yeah.
Open the
base.
soup base.
So,
Okay.
It sounds so much nicer than powdered hell. So yeah, there's
and
that.
what I want you to do is just sprinkle a little bit on the corner you're going to eat.
I'm creating a method where mine is still in my bag, so I don't create
That's
too
probably
much
for the
mess.
best.
So the kids don't see you eating and want some.
No, just because my OCD is like freaking out.
Okay. All right. So everybody put it down now. Check out. You're doing it like she did.
Oh yeah, we're doing it the same.
Okay. I want that corner. I want you to take a bite of that corner. Remember.
Are you serious?
You're freezing to death, and you don't have a way to cook the food. And this is something that lasts forever in your cupboard. Okay.
Yeah, and in your stomach.
Ready?
Right?
1, 2, 3, go. Mmm.
It's actually not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
No, it's actually worse.
It's worse.
The hard part is actually swallowing it.
This is how I imagine if you took a bite of your wall and you had a bunch of plaster in your mouth. That's kind of how it tastes.
Kind of a drywall. Yeah, pretty much it's drywall.
Yeah, drywall.
But
yeah.
I think the flavoring packet does enhance. Yeah.
It really does. So, if you are on the East Coast right now and you're watching this, this is in your cupboard. You could be saved, and you could be saved, and we would get credit on the Todd and Erin morning stream with Daisy for doing that.
Yes, saving a bunch of people.
Right.
Who just no longer want to live after finishing their meal.
We're college students.
I feel like next time I go around Smith's, I want to like carry this bag and just be like, as I'm shopping, just like gnawing from a bag
at
of
the crazy
ramen.
blonde
People
over
be
there.
like, what is she doing?
And if
No,
you go
it's
to
life-saving.
if you go to Walmart, you get one in each hand.
Oh yeah.
And you push the cart with your stomach. All right, we're good. All right, Daisy, thanks very much.
I'm really sorry
All
you
right.
had to see
I'm
that.
gonna
Take
go.
that.
I'm gonna go finish it at my desk.
Yeah.
Savor that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move from the living hell that this is to Christopher's Prime Steakhouse and tell you this, that we wanted to say a big fat thank you to you for everything you've done and being part of the morning stream and the fact that we're edging towards 4 million views, which stuns us even more than you. And so we'd like to say thank you by sending you to Christopher's. Dinner for 4. Bring your favorite people, have a wonderful meal, enjoy yourself, relax, and it's just the night where you get to reconnect, which is the best, really, in the end, best part of it. So all you have to do is just comment on the show today on Facebook. Maybe you're watching on Facebook on Gephardt Daily or maybe perhaps on Gephardt approved, or maybe you're watching on the Todd and Erin page and you're all commenting together. Yeah, Ellen, I'm totally with you on the steak is much better than ramen. So, yeah, just drop a comment. That enters you. You're done. You're ready to go. It's that simple. So, good luck, and thank you again so very much.
All right, where are we? I'm still enjoying.
Yeah, it was lovely.
All right, we're gonna take a
coming
break.
up next, this
Yeah.
is awesome. Chris Evans, Captain America,
Yeah.
the Avengers.
Uh-huh.
He did this fantasy football league bet with all these other celebrities. It is the funniest tweet exchange of the weekend. It's really funny.
It's coming
Stay
up
with us.
next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by UtahCreditApproval.com. Bad things happen to good people, but you can get your credit back on track and get a reliable automobile by giving them a call. 801-404-7201. And also by Columbus Travel with spectacular deals on cruises and all-inclusive vacations. Go to ColumbusVacations.com. And all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where they have a winter special that they can check out your furnace and make sure that it's operating efficiently, saving you hundreds of dollars in energy bills. Just go to allutahplumbing.com. Did you know that you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, and GephartDaily.com any time of the day or night?
At Always Black Friday, we love a good deal. We buy new and used products at a discount so we can pass on the savings to you. And we're Gephardt approved. From electronics to clothing to appliances. If you want it, we have it at discount prices. Visit our eBay store or come to our warehouse at 865 West 12th Street in Ogden. Always Black Friday, where you can find Black Friday deals all year round.
Happy Black Friday!
All right, I know the name, but I don't know if this is the right company because are they trying to do something nice?
I'm having a hard time understanding this one. Philip Morris, this is the tobacco giant.
No, that's what I
The
thought
ones
it
that
was.
have spread, stuff everywhere
Yeah.
in the world. Apparently, they have a New Year's resolution. They said, well, they're trying to give up cigarettes. And they're a little confused by this because they made this huge dramatic New Year's resolution, and they actually,
Philip Morris?
they put out all these full-page ads saying, we're trying to give up cigarettes. And they said, we're going to make this a smoke-free future.
Well, no, wait.
Now, take a look at this ad, though, because it's really weird. Do we have that, guys? We can put it up because it's...
What do you say? The Philip Morris is
said-
suggesting that people quit.
Yeah, they're saying...
Our New Year's
We're
resolution.
known for cigarettes, and every year many smokers give them. Now it's our turn.
Now it's our turn.
We've introduced cigarettes into many countries. Guys, saying it like that doesn't make you look better. We're going to be really nice to you. But now they're claiming that what they're doing is they're launching new options. So people are giving up
That's
cigarettes.
BS.
But what I would like to point out is they're not saying they're giving up. Oh, thank you. For instance. Ooh, he uses the red tops. Nice, Richard. That's hardcore. So basically what they're congratulating themselves over is they haven't given up tobacco. They've just claiming they're giving up cigarettes. They're just going to make you take it in another way.
Number
And
one.
they're congratulating themselves for that.
May I? I smoked for many years. I quit 10 months ago. I quit before this for a while, and for some reason I started again. So they want to do something nice. Number one, they've killed people. Number two, they've killed people who got secondhand smoke. Number three,
They lied about it after
number
they knew
three,
that it was...
They're introducing this to third world nations to get them hooked, and they're doing it at a reduced price to make sure it fits their income. Number four, they killed more people, including their spokespeople. Remember the cowboy, the Marlboro Man, sat by the campfire, had the cool smoke? They've also had cartoon characters like Fred Flintstone endorse cigarettes.
They also had doctors say, it's good for you.
It's a little late to be nice, but
Wow, look at you.
it is. Oh, we're sorry we murdered so many people. We got something else for you.
So they're not giving up tobacco. They just want to give it to you via a new delivery system, and that's where they're congratulating themselves.
Well, vaping, you've seen people vape and it looks like their car's on fire, right? You're like, oh my gosh. Oh no, it's just vaping. That has nicotine in it. And that's how they're getting their nicotine. Well, that's a better way of doing it.
It's also much more popular with children.
And the
with
kids
teenagers.
are starting to do it more. The kids. I just sounded like get off my lawn, didn't I?
Those young people.
So them and their music, their rap music. So anyway, I find it a little difficult. Do they say what are the other things they're introducing?
Yeah, some of the other, they're just tobacco, like,
Alternatives?
chewing tobacco and a couple of the other kinds of things that they've just come up with different ways. One of them is also a nicotine patch that they're very proud of.
The other company already does that, and it's kind of stupid that you would buy a nicotine pack from the group that gave you the nicotine crazedness.
Let's just say I'm not sure that ad campaign is really going to
I'm
take off.
angry. I'm angry.
Because you're missing the nicotine, or because you're just irritated that they got you in the first place?
That I let them get me.
I'm proud of you, but you stopped, right? You have proven it can be done, and you did it during an incredibly difficult period of your life.
And 35 pounds looks good on me.
Baby.
Someone actually said that. Your face looks fuller. It's really nice.
See? Yeah, and your skin's not deathly gray because you're not smoking anymore. These are all good things.
The great thing is that my pant size, which is 34 inches, I still have the same size, but I wear them really low. All right, you're going to tell me
Let's
about
move on to Chris Evans.
Chris
I
Evans.
absolutely love this guy. He's one of my favorite people to follow on Twitter anyway, because he's so entertaining, and it's so refreshing when someone is insanely attractive, yet also funny. And this actually came from Josh Horowitz, if we can put up the first picture. Josh actually does a lot of the stuff on MTV, and he said, so who in the league, guys? He said they're in a fantasy football league, and this was like Chris Evans and Chris Pratt and Jeremy Renner, John Krasinski, Don Cheadle, James Marsden, and Paul Rudd.
They like to call them the dream team.
And Chris Evans said, me, for the second year in a row. And then Don Cheadle, he's also an Iron Man, said, how do you manage to sound so smug in only 8 words? And he goes, wait for sarcastic answer, because, of course, Chris has one. So Josh Horowitz puts up this picture of Cheadle from Funny or Die. Look how adorable he looks.
It's funny.
And then Chris says the guy who came in last place waits for a weak excuse. So Horowitz at this point is basically just
Taunting
everybody. So somebody says, hey, play nice. If it's like the other leagues, last place means that Don gets first pick in next year's draft, and he might pick some of your favorites just to spite you. And Horowitz says, oh, congratulations, Captain. Surely everyone has paid you your winnings from last year by now. Definitely not trying to stir the pot.
Right.
And then Don Cheadle says, shut up, Josh. I mean that in the nicest way possible. And the exchange goes on for a while, but essentially means that nobody has actually paid Chris after he won. And this is the second year in a row no one has paid me anything. They haven't even bought me dinner.
He keeps winning and they don't pay him.
Shame on you guys.
Especially if he was going to donate that money to a charity.
You know, he actually
That's
would.
the angle he should use.
He actually probably would. He's adorable.
All he has to do is post that, and everyone will pay him.
All right, this is the coolest thing.
This is a cool idea.
Ordinarily, I never push any product, number one, that we're not endorsing. But this one's really cool. It's a new scarf, and I'm actually thinking about getting this for my mom and maybe for the kids too. It's a new scarf that's designed to filter the air. It blocks out 95% of the common contaminants.
Once it's around your mouth.
And the bacteria that cause influenza. So it's really cool. So what they're saying is a lot of people, it's cold anyway, you're putting a scarf around your face.
Right.
And they said that it's blocking out a lot of the problems they've seen with air pollution and the bacteria. And there's 3 levels of protection, but they said the best part is usually with masks and a lot of the other things, it's really hard to breathe normally.
Right.
It's a pain and it's all over your face. They said that this is really easy to breathe through. Yeah, it's really comfortable. But it's amazing. So one of the things that I really liked about it, because they cannot make this any better than it is, right? Because number one, it has all the filtration. They've proved it. They've shown all the the protection for contaminants. But also for every bioscarf the company is selling, they donate one to someone at risk. Really, people. And also it's ethically produced in a safe working environment, fair wage with benefits, no child labor. It's sustainable because it's made from post-consumer content.
Of course it is.
I mean,
does it have a phone charger?
I mean, it's freaking adorable. But anyway, if you want to do this, you can go to goodnewsnetwork.com, goodnewsnetwork.com. They have them there, and they'll also give you, they'll give you a 10% off with their coupon code. But I love the idea. I'm going to get a couple, and I thought we should try them out. But especially for people who are at risk anyway, and given how crappy our air is,
yeah,
that's actually sort of
awesome. I think it's a great idea.
Right?
Yeah.
It was just cool.
Right, so people are going to hell. Grandma. Mm-hmm. What did they do to Grandma?
Worst grandmother in the world.
Whoa, it's the worst grandmother in the world?
She's the one.
Oh.
You've got the story there.
Do I?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
All right, now grandmas, when we do these stories about people going to hell, it's usually one of the elderly who's being, taken advantage of, and it's awful, and God bless them. No, this time it's Grandma, and she's just a horrible human being.
Keep telling the story.
Can you find it?
No.
All right, so everybody's shopping, and they had a nice little couple go in, and they had a $100 bill, and it was a gift, and this is what they were using for all of their Christmas stuff, and they were going to use it to buy everything for everyone. They had their little plan, they had their little list, and they're ready to go. And you can actually see this on the surveillance video on the store's
Do we have that?
camera. Can you guys show this? Because this is going to kill you. So
Okay.
here we are.
Where's Grandma?
She's right there.
Who's the guy in the hat?
A little one drops the money.
Okay,
so
there
did
it
you
is.
see the
I
lady?
saw
It's
it.
right there.
Behind the cart, right
If you-
there.
He's looking around like, where is it? Look at her.
She saw the money.
She's seen them do it.
Right.
She picks up the money and keeps
Puts
it,
it in her purse.
and then just walks away.
And teaches the kid a bad lesson.
So basically, the Warwick County Police Department's going, if anyone knows the best grandmother in the world, could you please let us know who she is so that we can get the money back? She watched the woman walk off.
She didn't commit a crime, though.
Yes, she did. She stole the money.
No, the money was on the floor.
If
Finders, keepers,
if,
losers,
no,
weepers.
if she watched the woman drop the money. The woman was still like right there. It's not like you couldn't just go, here's your money. She knew perfectly
I
well.
don't think they could prosecute her. She's still a horrible woman.
I think you can prosecute her though, because she saw the woman drop it. She knows it belonged to somebody else. She knew right where the woman was. It's not like she couldn't get it to her, but she stole it. Who does that? Merry Christmas, Nana. That's the worst thing ever.
Grandma.
Sorry. I
Now-
just thought it was.
Now I know where those $5 bills came from when I got a birthday card from my Nana.
I don't think so.
It could
All right,
be.
coming up next, we have got Hollywood Connection. I did not realize this about Carrie Underwood.
What?
She had a life-changing thing. Well, face-changing for sure. We'll tell you about it next. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink & McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you'll find out that you can get a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600. Fink & McGregor, also by the Vein Clinic. If you go to theveinclinic.com, you can schedule an appointment and find out some amazing options for pain-free removal of varicose veins and spider veins. Your legs can look great again with the Vein Clinic. And also by Black Diamond Experts. They're experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. And they also have a brand new store up in Ogden now. If you'd like to reach them, you can go to blackdiamondexperts.com. So Jeff, you do mortgages, right?
I do.
How do you do?
Well, you go to our website, 4minutemortgage.com, fill out the application. We'll call you within one business day. The whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
We went to the bank
They got really personal.
and went through all of our personal records and all of our finances.
And then there was that little deal about the $8,000 closing costs.
Took like 4 months.
That's funny. That's funny.
All right, welcome back to the Todd and Erin Morning Stream, GetPartDaily.com. What? Carrie Underwood. Now, I heard something about this, but I'm not sure.
Well, apparently it was
Connect this being brought to you by.
Connect Heating and Air. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's
Thank you
right.
so much. We love you. This is interesting. She apparently had a fall in her home. It wasn't, you wouldn't think, okay, yeah, she had a broken wrist. And so that
Ouch.
they actually reported that, like, oh, yeah, she
Hi,
fell,
Carrie.
broke a wrist. But then she kind of cautioned everybody and said, look, I'm going to look a little different when you see me again. She said there was another part of the story that I hadn't been ready to talk about since I've still been living with it.
What?
And I wasn't sure how I was going to end up. She
What?
said, it's amazing how a freak random accident can change your life.
What?
She ended up needing 50 stitches in her face.
Get out of here.
And she said, I'll spare you the gruesome details, but when I came out of surgery the night of my fall, the doctor told my husband Mike that he had to put 50 stitches in. She said, even though I've had the best people helping me, I'm not looking the same, and I'm not sure how I'm going to end up looking. She said, but I'm grateful it wasn't worse. But it's very, very
That's
sad.
crazy.
So she's apparently, she said, I'm having a hard time getting ready to go in front of the camera again. She said, because I'm going to look different and I'm scared of what people are going to think. So the last thing she put up was actually just a week ago. She's been advertising for a new scarf company, but it's really sad. So basically what she did is she wrapped it around most of her face.
Oh no.
And advertised the scarf like that. And that was kind of her big thing. But it was just heartbreaking. So it made me feel bad that she's so freaked out about it, because she's a naturally beautiful anyway, but apparently the stitches are not the thing. It's the fact that it affected part of her musculature. So when she smiles, it's going to look different.
Right.
But that's so sad. I can't imagine. She said literally, I fell on my steps. That was it. And that's what happened.
Fall.
That must have been a major fall. All right, other thing, this is kind of cool. Excuse me, I was a little choked out. Jimmy Fallon. Fallon. He's back in LA now, but apparently he and the family were up in Deer Valley over the weekend. Put out a very nice Instagram, thanking everybody at Deer Valley, where all the beautiful people go. Look how cute his kids are.
Why doesn't that look like him?
They're adorable. Well, it's because he's got a scruff.
It doesn't look
He's
like
usually
Jimmy
clean
Fallon.
shaven. But he talked about thank you for the French fries.
Who's dating his wife there? Who's that stunt guy?
Thank you for the French fries and pizza slices, because when you're teaching little kids how to ski, you teach them about how, like this, keep your tips together. Or
except when they're heading towards
parallel.
a rough spot, you're yelling, "Pizza! Make the wedge!"
And then McLean would be like, really? Because I'm hungry.
Take it off.
Right? Yeah. So that was very cute. So I'm glad
cool.
they had a good time. He's back in the studio today. But for anyone who, I guess like 3 people texted us on Facebook and went, hey, he's up here. Do you want us to get a picture? And I'm like, if you can. But he put him out himself. So we're happy for you.
Look. Deer Valley scruff. Deer Valley, by the way,
Serious
if you
scruff.
haven't skied there, it's so ritzy that they actually come over and pick you up and dust you off when you fall.
They have valets who take your skis from your car and take them to the lift for you, so you don't have to be tainted by carrying your own
And if you're
equipment.
afraid, they put you on a flat surface and they push you.
They might actually have valets that just put you on their back and then ski down the hill
Those
for
are called
you.
Sherpas, and they import them from Tibet. So if you've never been there, you get a picture with a Sherpa, and you get carried up a mountain.
All right, let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom, and she is brought to you by Fink and McGregor, fink-mcgregor.com. That's where you go to find out that mortgages are made simple, because within 4 minutes, they can give you a whole bunch of mortgage options and even call you back within the next business day. Also by The Vein Clinic. Now, just go to theveinclinic.com, theveinclinic.com. Schedule an appointment. I actually had a procedure done on my leg, and this is the fastest I've ever seen recovery from varicose veins ever. And it was pain-free, and it took minutes. It was amazing. Also by Black Diamond Experts. They are experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. To schedule an appointment, just go to blackdiamondexpert.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making national and world news headlines on Monday, January 8th on Gephardt Daily. Stranded travelers at New York's JFK International Airport are facing a fresh round of frustrations in the aftermath of those terrible storms which brought air traffic to a halt last week. Just as it was looking like flight schedules would return to normal Sunday, one of the terminals was flooded by a broken water main. Dozens more flights had to be cancelled, and the airport now says it could be days before they can take care of backlogged flyers. Former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon says he regrets not responding sooner to comments attributed to him in Fire and the Fury, the explosive new book on Donald Trump's White House. Bannon attacked Trump and his family in the tell-all book. It prompted a broadside from Trump and his supporters, who are saying Bannon has lost his mind. Trump has yet to respond to Bannon's apology. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will hold a panel this month to educate the public on how to prepare for a potential nuclear attack. The CDC's announcement follows a series of exchanges between the US and North Korea, during which both sides threatened to annihilate one another with nuclear weapons. Last month, Hawaii tested its nuclear attack sirens for the first time since the height of the Cold War in 1980. And in August, Guam officials released a 2-page memo for its residents about how to survive a nuclear attack. Time now for your Wasatch Front forecast, brought to you by our sparkling new sponsors at Brio Technologies, Utah's premier audiovisual specialists. If you liked last week's temperamental forecast, you'll love what's in store for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, where highs will linger in the 40s and upper 30s, even as a storm front pushes its way across the state. Lows will hang in the 20s and 30s. That's it for now. For more news from across the nation and around the world, go to gebhardtdaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy.
You know what? The CDC coming out, before we do the Black Diamond thing, the CDC coming out and giving us instructions on how to protect ourselves from atomic blasts.
Mm-hmm.
What they need is a catchy phrase.
Okay.
Because we got drop and roll.
Yeah.
You know, we've got...
For fires, sure.
Fires, and you got duck and cover for earthquakes and tornadoes.
Sure.
Yeah, so they need to come up with some kind of, like, you know, cool, like, thing that's, like, snappy.
It's an atomic blast.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how snappy you can get.
I don't know.
How about it's all over, we're super sorry?
Crouch and kiss your... Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, just checking. All right, Black Diamond.
Not as catchy. Okay, Black Diamond experts, the reason they are experts is because they do electric, plumbing, heating, and air. And the nice thing about it is they can be at your house 24/7 if there's an emergency. Now, of course, aside from emergencies, if you need something fixed in the house, the reason why I like these guys is because they're trustworthy. We all have that list of people that we know we can count on that aren't going to overcharge you or kind of screw you over. People you feel okay about recommending to your friends. The reason why I've recommended Black Diamond is because once they come into the house, they don't start doing overages and extra charges and surprise fees. If they give you a quote and they say, it's going to cost us to fix this, that's what you get at the end, which I think is wonderful. There's no nasty surprises because we've all been through that where the bill is like 18 times more than they told you it was going to be. It's not like that with these guys. If you want to get an appointment, just go to blackdiamondexpert.com. That's blackdiamondexpert.com. You'll be glad that you called an expert.
All right, so this is pretty cool. The fascinating science stories of 2017. Welcome to Todd Science Corner.
This is like a cool time to be alive, though. I'm amazed at some of the stuff they came up with.
Well, if you think, kind of on the negative side this year, you can say, the smart people are working hard at this. Breakthrough device that heals organs and skins with a single touch.
Isn't that incredible?
A single touch. Like, watch this. Boom, a new shoulder.
I'd be okay.
They find out that this was developed. I remember the story about 3 years ago, and now they have a way to regenerate skin and organs with coming in contact with a certain chemical produced and delivered a certain way.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And it happens in a fraction of a second. That's crazy. That's why they're smarter. World's largest air purifier transforms Chinese smog into actual diamonds. Look at that thing.
There's no freaking way.
Carbon.
I guess so.
Carbon makes that.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
That's amazing.
This is the shimmering park tower. And it basically looks like a nice piece of architecture. And it is sucking air in as we speak. And making, because China's situation is horrible.
Oh, air quality is the worst.
Perfect Revenge was developed for scammers.
Explain.
We talked about it.
Oh, yeah, this is right.
You forward your scam mail to a certain website. They take it, they strip out all the stuff, and then they get their robots to start dealing with the scammers and tying them up so they can't do it to anybody else.
So satisfying.
They came up with a new font for dyslexia.
This one was wonderful. We talked about this too.
And some people, I have dyslexia, and I would say that I'm mid-range. I think mid-range with this, but if you have someone, anybody's got anything with it, knows how it. Spell check was the best thing God ever invented, by the way. But the font seems to change the way some of the people on the spectrum can deal with this.
One of the widest ranges they've seen for the spectrum too, for people who have been able to see it.
That the other thing that helped me and a lot of people too was the dictation software.
Interesting.
That you can speak and it writes it out, because I tend to drop words when I'm writing and when I'm typing, and so this is another way. I remember that girl we met, and she wanted to be a teacher, and she was affected by this. And I remember saying, well, you could start with the software, whether it works for you or not. Start with the software and find one that works for you, and then, progress. But I think that's interesting that she wants to do that. And it'd be interesting if she could work with kids
Well, I
who
think a
have the
lot of
same
people, though,
issue.
who struggle with certain issues, they tend to go into that field because they're so fascinated by it, and it's something that they feel they can overcome, and it gives them a stronger understanding. So I think that's amazing.
This is amazing. The Food and Drug Administration is now looking at a medication that's under test that says that MDMA is a breakthrough cure for PTSD. And it's in clinical trials already.
You know, given what we've seen from that too, and the nightmare and what these people go through, and so many good people, especially who might have served in you know, armed conflict, people who have endured, you know, unimaginable abuse, all these people who have struggled to recover their lives after this, the fact that they could have something that would work for them.
And you
can't
know what?
imagine anyone who deserves it more.
And you know what? Every time we say this, we're thinking about the military.
Mm-hmm.
We're also talking about people who got in a traffic accident downtown Salt Lake City. You're looking at people who have been through a horrific divorce. You're looking for people who have gone through an experience, a fire in a house,
Abuse,
and abuse that have been affected by this, and it impacts them every day. And there's a trigger that sets them off, you off. And then you know what that is. Well, what if we could take that trigger away?
Yeah, MDMA, it's amazing because this is a recreational drug. It's like ecstasy.
The original.
And so originally you would think, seriously, why would, but the fact that they can actually use, but there's something about the molecular structure of the drug that actually works on the brain chemistry in that particular way.
And I think this is different, slightly different, but the fact that, because they used this in the past, 20 years ago. And
I thought that was LDSD. LDSD.
No.
I'm sorry.
LDS? No. And I'm dyslexic and I still know the letters. Anyway, so it's a cool thing, and they've refined it, and they're working with that now.
That's wonderful.
It is.
So see, there's so many cool things. So many things that have changed.
Oh, they had a frozen embryo. We talked about this last week that was frozen for
24-year-old baby.
24 years, and they had an adoption program, and somebody adopted the frozen embryo, was implanted. The baby was 8 pounds, 6 ounces. Unbelievable. And the big one is stem cells.
Stem cells.
Stem cells. You remember there's this big thing about, umbilical cords. Stem cells. And they inject them into different parts of what's going on in your body, and it regenerates it. And just to be vain about it, it also grows hair. That's the biggest invention since Viagra. It really,
for men, really, this is like the best thing you could ever do for them. They're like,
I got this, and I got, you know what I'm saying. All right. The cold.
Okay.
The cold.
Oh, yeah, we've been talking about this down in the South and how no one is prepared for how cold it is. It's just, I mean, I remember the one time it snowed when I lived in Virginia, and my landlord's freaking out going, open all the doors in the house so nothing freezes. And I'm like, it's like
the cabinet
like 45,
doors.
Right?
Right.
And he, and everyone was wigging out. It was like, I think it was a skiff of snow. Here we wouldn't even have noticed. And it closed down everything.
A lot of people didn't deal with snow. There was no snow. It was the cold. Once again, we talked about iguanas falling out of trees, and sea turtles, and all these different things, and it affected other animals too, even domestic animals.
Oh, this was so sad.
All right, so a kitten was on a dock, and very cold, and it fell in the water. It swam to shore where it was resting and stuff, and it actually froze to a rock. Okay, now wait. The cat is froze to a rock, and then a person walking by sees it. Now, you know the story.
It had been there for a long time, like almost overnight, they said.
Now, you know the story about when you get stung by a jellyfish, right? And you come out of the water and you're like, I've been stung by a jellyfish. And what is the cure for that? What do people do to save that person, their friend?
They pee on the sting, and allegedly the enzymes in urine mitigate the sting.
Right. Well, this story has nothing to do with that.
Oh, thank God.
At all.
I wasn't sure where we were going with this.
Take you down that path.
Now take us off it again.
I'm a mean man, aren't I?
I was like, I don't remember this story going like this, honey. All right, move on.
No, so anyway, they went down, they had some warm water. They poured on the cat, got his paws off, and then they had to cut the hair because the hair was stuck to the rock too. And then the cat was taken and everything was fine. There was no peeing on a cat.
Do you have the video for that, though? It really is sweet, or a picture.
Do we have a picture for that?
I don't think so. It was heartbreaking.
I don't think so. It's not heartbreaking. It's wonderful.
Okay.
Right. So anyway, we're going to come back. Romney and Trump spoke?
Yeah, apparently this is about the potential Senate run from here in Utah.
Oh, I thought it was like the big WWE Octagon fighting match.
That would have been a lot more fun.
That's coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
You're not scaring me. You're not scaring me.
You know, the eyelash I showed you on Friday. It's twice as long. I'll draw you a picture.
If you missed it Friday, Todd was complaining that I have one eyelash that's longer than the
You
others.
got the Mevo here.
And he is obsessed with this. I mean, to a point where it's just pitiful. Really?
All right.
Really?
So that's her eyelash, right? You're looking down from her forehead. And they're all fine, and they're all in a row, and they're all gorgeous.
Here, honey, just show them.
Okay, let's see if can we do this? All right, shut your eye. Turn this way.
You happy now?
Right there. What kind of freak of nature is that? What is that? What are you, an alien?
This is really your biggest deal. This is really like the biggest issue. How long have we been together? And you're suddenly now noticing my eyelash.
I'm not. That hasn't been around forever, trust me. I look at you and I gaze into your eyes, and that is like there's a badger sitting on your face. Because I can't look past it. I'm not looking at your eye right now. I'm looking at that right there. And I can't help it. When are you going to trim it?
I'm not trimming my eyelash. There's nothing wrong with it. You're a freak.
There's one.
No, you're a freak. It's your problem. Nobody else cares.
It's like if I had one tooth that was this long. I had a tooth. I have a tooth like this.
No, that's different.
That would look, you wouldn't be able to look at my
All right, let's move on about
lips.
Mitt Romney. Now, this is interesting. I don't know if you remember this. Well, I'm sure everybody does. It's not like Mitt Romney and Trump had been friends. When Donald Trump was first running, it looked like there might be an actuality he could possibly win the party's nomination.
Right.
Mitt Romney actually spoke at the Hinckley Institute of Politics at
Yes,
the
he
University of Utah, said,
He did.
this is a guy with serious problems and zero morality.
This is back then.
He was aggressive. He was very specific about it. And then Trump fired back with a couple of really mean tweets. I think we've got those. And you may remember that relatively horrifying photo. When Mitt Romney asked me for my endorsement last time around, he was so awkward and goofy that we all should have known he could not win. So it's not like they like each other. And interestingly, after all of this, I guess they had met right after the election. Look at Romney's face like, uh-huh. And they were talking, I guess, about Romney having some position in his cabinet. And Trump later said, no, basically I did that to screw with him, just to embarrass him after his comments. I'm not sure whether somebody threw down the olive branch or what, but apparently they spoke by phone on Friday.
Be more like a tree.
It lasted less than 10 minutes, but apparently Trump wished Romney the best of luck in his future endeavors. And this was based on the fact that since Hatch has now announced that he's going to retire, Mitt Romney will be running for his position in the Senate. So I would have paid money to hear that conversation because I'm still trying to figure out what the point was of it. Oprah Winfrey.
I'm sorry.
This just in from my
Thanks.
CNN is reporting
wait.
that Oprah Winfrey is actively thinking about running
Me
for
vote.
president. Oprah Winfrey is actively thinking about running for president. No way.
What was that?
I was going to say get the freak out, but that doesn't make
Okay.
any sense. I would totally vote for her.
No, okay.
I would totally vote for her.
You know what?
You wouldn't vote for her?
I like her a lot, but I don't want anybody from Hollywood anymore.
She's got
I know
massive...
Ronald Reagan came from Hollywood. I know that, but I
Yeah, but
want someone boring just thinks about the right things.
But
and
she's
does them.
ridiculously smart, though, and she's
She
come up with so
is.
many fascinating
She
initiatives. All the
is.
work she's done in Africa and with education
I'm
for
a
young
little
people.
shell-shocked. That's all I'm going to say.
I thought that was interesting.
This is an interesting thing. Erin, you got for Christmas, and you gave me one too, was the external chargers for your phone that'll extend your phone. Actually, will charge it too, but you plug it in, and if your phone's dead, it'll start
It is
charging.
life-changing.
And you can use it. And
Life-changing.
it's about the size of a pack of gum. When you used to chew gum, they used to come in that rectangle shape. And you charge them up, and they last. I mean, they last a long time.
They're wonderful.
And so a lot of people up to this point have been. You've done it. You searched around an airport, right?
Give me a plug. Oh, yeah, and how everyone kind of hovers over the plugs, and then
Right.
they're awkwardly seated like underneath someone's chair where they're already sitting, so you can get the bottom plug. Yeah, we've all done it.
And a lot of places, stores and such actually have charging ports for you.
New restaurants, if you take a look at it now, like we were talking to the people down at Good Grammar, they will remodel business. They'll remodel everything now so that there is like
At each booth.
yeah, that there's a plug so you can plug in. I mean,
Even at the bar, there's
multiple plugs.
yeah, it's crazy.
It's interesting.
Don't use them.
Why?
Don't ever use them.
Why?
Well, you should use the external ones, power things, but you don't use the ones in public. They
Why?
say because then whoever set it up has access to your phone.
How so?
Magic. Just okay. Here you go. Read the quote.
Just by plugging your phone into a compromised power strip or charger, your device is now infected, and that can compromise all your data. This is from Authenticate. It's a security expert. Public charging stations and Wi-Fi access points in places like airports, planes, conference centers, and parks have their risks. They say that not only is if the port is compromised, they could get your email, your text messages, your photos, your contacts. It's called juice jacking.
Aha.
That's really interesting. And they do the same thing now with video jacking, where they can use hacked ports and your phone's video to display to record everything you see and you look at.
Not
and you
every
type.
not every place is going to have a problem, but
That's scary, though.
I know.
And I don't even have anything interesting on my phone.
I know.
But even my non-interesting stuff, it would be horrifying to have somebody have access to it. But I mean, wow.
The external ones are really great and they're cheap.
Yeah, the ones I got were $5, and they last for hours.
They came from China, though. Mm-hmm. You want this one?
Show me the video, because after that was sort of a grim one. So let's do a happy.
Oh, this is grim one.
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's do something
All right.
happy.
Well, so anyway, we want to thank you for. Are we saying goodbye now? Yeah, let's say goodbye. Thanks for watching the Todd and Erin morning stream on GetPartDaily.com. If you like this or not. And you want to offend people,
Share
it.
Sure, please. We would love that.
We'll be back tomorrow, but we are going to leave you. You know, and a lot of people, it's a new year, and
People were thinking, I'd like to bury 2017 in the backyard. It sucked for me. And there were a lot of people that had a hard time this year. But
And early, I was telling you about all the great medical breakthroughs and all the scientific breakthroughs for 2017, which is great. But here's a little bit that kind of run you through some more things.
the best moments of 2017.
We'll see you tomorrow.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was.